Hey Chuck, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing. Let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture. Your lower spine's relatively straight and on a nice tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you, and the club works out to the ball. So achieving very nice posture here, also in association with very good balance. Other thing we want to pay attention to is your alignment. We can see your feet aiming in this direction. Carry that out towards the intended target. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So we can see you're pretty much set up right down the right center of the fairway, so that's also really, really good. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. We've got some color-coded lines up on the screen here just to use as visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. As Jordan initiates his takeaway, he creates good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. From here, we're going to want to incorporate some wrist hinge into play where we transition the club head from below to above our hands. And at this point, we're going to work the golf club from red up to yellow or blue. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the left arm and club are going to be situated on the yellow line or the blue line or somewhere in between. Anyone who has a slightly steeper swing will be up on blue, shallower swing down on yellow. As we go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here, you turn your shoulders, draw your hands in. It brings the golf club underneath the swing plane. Looks like you have a strong right hand grip. What that means is that your right hand's rotated underneath the golf club, too much out of dress. That's going to have a tendency of closing your club face. We can see here your club face is very closed coming back. As you continue to move back, we start to see some wrist hinge here. That looks great. Working that to the top. When you finally set the golf club at the top, very nice set position. You've rotated your shoulders really, really well. Your arm geometry is in great position relative to your core, maintaining a nice triangular position. Left arm is situated on the yellow line, so you have a little bit of a shallower swing than what we see with Jordan Spieth. And the club stays in great position relative to your arms, and you've got a stable right side, creating this rotation about a very nice axis and maintaining your posture. Looks really good. Your club face, though, is very closed due to that grip and that initial takeaway where everything stays underneath. As we go ahead and create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right to our left, drive the knees and the hips to the target, unwind the core and fire the hands, and doing so, in Jordan's case, bring the club from blue down to yellow and then back down onto red, which is where the club originated from. We can see here that the golf club has returned back to plane. The other thing we want to point out is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the ball. So therefore, when we're retaining angle, it's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone, as we already pointed out, getting it to return back to plane, which is ultimately what's going to allow us to hit a straight ball in accordance to our alignment. With your downswing, we see you dropping your hands really, really nicely. Feet and knees are kicking in. So it's a pretty decent pre-impact position there from you. If we take a look at your lead form and your golf club, you have your backwards check mark. The club head itself, though, has not fully returned back to plane as we see with Jordan Spieth. So your club shaft is a little bit steep at this point in time. Just meaning it's on an angle right now of about 52 degrees, where Jordan's club shaft at this point in time is around 32. As we continue to track the club head coming into the ball, we can see with Jordan that the club simply comes into the ball directly from this red line. So again, this is going to allow him to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment, as long as the club face squares up via having a good grip. So the three things we need in order to be consistent and hit straight golf balls: we have to aim well, meaning the feet have to run parallel to the club face. Club has to return down on plane in order to hit the ball straight in accordance to that alignment, and then the club face has to square up. With you, let's see where your club goes in the next frame here. Excellent job. Has not returned back onto plane yet, but at least it's still above and behind your hands. Let's go to the next frame. Excellent. Well done. So if we just go ahead and connect the dots here, we can get a pretty good visual as to how your club was coming into the ball. Takes a lot longer for you to get the club back onto plane. Again, we can see with Jordan Spieth that his club gets back onto plane, up and back here. And yours finally hits the plane sort of down here. But at least through the earlier part of the downswing, the club head's remaining above and behind your hands. So ultimately you're coming into the ball pretty good. Again, we noticed you were set up, I think alignment was good, maybe a little right of center. Downswing plane is good. So you should be able to hit a relatively straight shot based on your alignment, as long as that club face squares up. So let's take a look at your club face coming in. Now again, remember I mentioned that your right hand grip is strong, so a strong grip again will produce a closed club face. So this is going to help you impart right to left spin and not lose the ball to the right. So we see the face shutting down, you end up hitting it off the toe of the club, so club spin's open. But golf clubs are made these days to help prevent the ball from going to the right. You're releasing the club through the ball very nicely. Probably certainly putting a little bit of right to left spin on that ball. So that ball's probably moving a little bit from right to left and probably finding the intended target. As you move through, you move yourself through to a really good finish. I like to see your right heel get up off the ground at point of impact and continue up off the ground and get up on the toe of your right foot when you're done. You can see you stay a little bit flat-footed through to the finish there. And you may find at the end of a round of golf that your lower back is a little bit sore, and that's just because you're creating a little bit of resistance. You have energy firing through to the target to your left side, but you're keeping your right foot pasted down on the ground, so that's creating a resistance, and the stress is going to be absorbed likely into the lower back. So just learn how to create better footwork, and that will allow you to efficiently move through just to a little bit of a better finish. Although you're doing a really good job, you seem pretty flexible, keeping your right foot on the ground, still be able to rotate that much through the ball. So overall, nice athletic move, hands work well, back and fire through, looks great, good coil back, good uncoil through, got a good move to the finish. It would look a little bit better and a little bit more efficient if you just create that footwork we were just talking about. But nonetheless, the aim's pretty good, downswing plane solid, and as long as that club face squares up, everything should turn out pretty decent. Due to the fact that you have a strong grip, again, if you over-release the club, you're going to hook it too far left. If you hang on to the club face a little bit, due to the fact that you have a strong grip, you probably have to create a bit of a hang-on move, sort of like a David Duval or a Paul Azinger, back in the era a little while ago when you saw golfers who had, or a few golfers anyways, that had some stronger grips. They had to create a hang-on move through impact. So you probably have to do a little bit of the same thing. Otherwise, that club face is going to just shut down on the golf ball. And you're just going to hit really low, hard hooking left shots. And so if you improved your grip, be able to increase that trajectory a little bit more, probably reduce the amount of spin. Not probably, you would reduce the amount of right to left spin, reduce the amount of draw and or hook that you're producing. But again, in your case, because you are aiming a little right, you do need a little bit of draw action. So they sort of line themselves up. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. If at any point in time you ever want to work on your golf game, I'm over at Glen Abbey, where the event was held, and I'd be happy to structure something up for you. Also, if you're involved in any golf tournaments at all, looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the screen here. Anyways, hope you had a great summer, hope you had a great day, and hope you enjoy the remainder of the fall and get a chance to play some more golf.